You're listening to KAZI Austin.
You are now rocking with the best, homie. So keep the dial to the left, homie. Untapped show, so fresh, homie. It's all you need, forget about the rest. We got these hot songs, with no access, the outlets to get them to the masses. Radio and TV is still the way, but I ain't trying to pay for no airplay. No, if the song hot, then let the song rock. That's why for me, untap your big props. If you independent, I know you down with it. And if you ain't hustling, you probably won't get it. It ain't new, the Untap crew go the hardest. Love for the city, and love for the artist. Yeah. Please support your folks. You can't just listen, you gotta vote. This is how it is and how it is supposed to be. Online, untappshow.net. If you don't know, you better get a clue. Stand up, big salute from the 512. You are now rocking with the best, homie. So keep the dial to the left, homie. Untapped show, so fresh, homie. It's all you need, forget about the rest. You are now rocking with the best, homie. So keep the dial to the left, homie. Untapped show, so fresh, homie. It's all you need, forget about the rest. This is the world famous Untapped Show on KAZI 88.7 FM.
Hey, you're listening to the Untapped Show. If you don't know by now, that's what you're listening to. That's what you're tuned into right now here at 88.7 FM, the voice and soul of Austin. We are also live on Facebook. We're about to go live on YouTube and just live. We live. Wouldn't you agree, Giannis? He's looking at his eyes with his eyes looking funny.
I'm looking that way. I'm like, you need to hurry up getting your interview.
I know.
We'll be out of time.
Oh, my goodness.
Come on. Let's go.
You're the one holding it up.
I'm not.
Yeah, look at them, y'all. See what I'm saying? Then they put it on you. So we're going into our interview. I'm going to read a quick bio of who we're about to interview. We're going to be interviewing Wolf Quan, born Paul Domingo Rafanan in Austin, Texas. Wolf Quan spent most of his childhood between Round Rock and Hutto. Being autistic, he was often shy and fearful. His parents divorced when he was 6, and he went back and forth between different homes. At his primary home, he was often bullied and mistreated by those who took advantage of his shyness. It wasn't until he was inspired by the 2010 film Alpha and Omega that his path of writing began. He started writing poems and books at just the age of 12. By 14, he began rapping, releasing 3 a cappella albums under the name Wolf Paws. In 2017 and 2018, he released the non-profit albums, Clawed and Paw Print, respectively. In December 2018, he released a non-profit EP called The Cringe EP. And in 2019, he rebranded himself, taking on the name Wolf Quan, and released his debut commercial album, Excellence, in November of 2019. In December 2020, he released a second commercial album, The Forbidden Forest, which details his struggles. Wolf Quan cites many musical influences, including Eminem, Zayn, Timbaland, One Republic, Coldplay, Drake, Neo, Calvin Harris, Black Eyed Peas, Rihanna, The Fray, and Ariana Grande. Welcome to the show, Wolf Quan.
Hello?
Hello. We just been having... Is he on? Hey, can you hear me?
Hello?
We had him on hold for quite a while.
Hello?
On the phone?
Hello?
We may have gotten disconnected.
Yes?
Do you want to play his song and have him call back in?
Hold on for like 3 minutes.
We can do it that way. Okay.
Okay,
so,
thank you.
We'll come back and we lost connection.
Okay.
So we're going to play your song, Sad and in Love. And then once your song has ended, we'll go into the interview. So give us a call back so we can get you on the air and chop it up a little bit. The song is called Sad and in Love.
Unseen. blazing new hip-hop joints. Only on Untapped.
Pardon my snooping, been looking through your drawers and just found that Cuban orchid you used to war when we were stupid, pouring liquor down that poor man's drawers, enjoying the tipsy rounds, adored it. But that summer when we first conversed is now foreign. Now I dread to wake and nurse you up every morning. Nowadays I struggle to uncrumble ones for mortgage, cause you can barely move to work, the bed became your corset. But even in these morbid days you always stay so
That is just a little taste of your new song, What Quan Said.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Hey, welcome to the show. I apologize for all the technical difficulties, but you've been so patient.
I know he just called back. So give us
How you doing?
You're hearing in the background. This
I'm good.
He has just
Good. So welcome to the show. You're from Texas, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Born and raised, and thank you for sharing your story. It is, from what I've read, just on the air, just off of your bio, it's very inspirational. And I can see where you've championed so much into channeling all that you've been through and your artistic ability into putting forth these nice projects. So tell me about that. When did you really realize that, music was your thing?
I'd say, well, I've always been a writer, and I've always listened to, it wasn't until I was around 15 or 16 that I started really listening to rap and like really analyzing it. I'd say Eminem especially, I pretty much know I've listened to every single one of his songs, and I literally study them, and I try to channel my struggles into something that other people can connect with, and that's kind of, I guess, my goal in life is to let people know that they're not alone.
I think that's excellent, and being autistic and successful at what you're doing. Tell us how that journey has been for you.
Well, for a while, I never knew I was autistic. I just figured I was different, and I never really made any friends in school or anything like that. I've always, I guess, kind of been on my own. And when you're on your own and you face difficulties, it tends to hit you harder. And as a result, I try to express myself, and I always, I know, I guess everybody says they're the best, but I would say I really try to be.
That's excellent. I think that being able to pull together something that you can bury yourself into despite all of the different things around you that might be adverse definitely is a wonderful way, like you said, to express yourself. And with that, you've come up with projects and outcomes that you can share with the world through the art spectrum. And so I noticed that you were talking about the nonprofit aspect of these releases. Tell me more about that. When you went, why nonprofit?
Oh, well, I guess sort of my philosophy is that I like to wait until I get to a certain level of skill before I really put myself out there. And those albums are, in hindsight, really embarrassing to listen to me. So I see them more as stepping stones.
Right. And we're always hardest on ourselves. You know that, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes when we hear things and it seems like it's, rough, but other people don't see it the way we see it. We're going to always, be hardest on ourselves. So with that said, the claw, wolf, I noticed, okay, wolf, claw, paw print. Tell me where all that comes from.
Well, I have a deep affection with the idea of the animal of wolves, and there's just kind of something about them that I like, where they're kind of aggressive, but they're also really intelligent. And Claude, the album, was intended to be an introspective album. So I used Claude as like a metaphor, because you think of like tearing yourself apart, you get claw marks.
Right. That's pretty deep, and I'm glad I asked that question, because I was like, there's got to be something relative here. And then with paw print, so that all kind of is one of the same with the introspective view.
Yeah, well, paw print was more of I tried to see if I could do many different things, so it's more open to a wider audience. So there's more than one genre being explored there. Like one thing people always tell me is how diverse my instrumentals are. And paw print, kind of like how a fingerprint represents somebody's identity. A paw print for me, and the wolf metaphor, represents my identity.
So the 3 albums that you released in 2017, 2018, and 2019 were actually a cappella.
Yes.
And for those of you who don't know what that means, it means there's no instrumentation in the background, right?
Yeah, you're right. Yes.
And so was that more like when you were doing your poetry, your writing coming into performing it, and that?
Yeah, it's more of poetry. Yeah, I'd say that was. Yeah, very baby steps is what I would describe it.
That sounds really interesting. I think I'm going to have to go back and listen myself. I'd love to hear that. And so now we've come into, the 2019,
yeah,
which was the Excellence, and then 2020, the Forbidden Forest. Tell me about the Excellence, what that means.
So, Excellence was kind of a big deal for me. That was the moment where I decided to really put myself out there, so that's, I think, the first song off the album was one of the first times I ever rapped on an instrumental, period. And I was a little shocked at how well I could do it. So, similar to Paw Print, I tried many different, it's more of an all-purpose album. I tried many different things, tried singing, and I even did beat switches, or I tried to.
So you do music, you write, you perform music or produce as well, right?
I do not.
Okay, I wondered about that. It just seems like from some of your lingo, I see where you have a connection with that as well. That might be something you might want to look at as well at some point. Because you have seem to have a great comprehension of how that comes together. So I noticed you said that you studied Eminem, and you really, you knew all his stuff. What did you, from studying it, what would you say came out of that? What were you able to perceive from studying him?
Oh, well, that's like telling me how to perceive a whole textbook. It's hard to say. I'd say the thing that I admire the most is, so, he came from a very, I guess what you would call a impoverished background, and the feeling of being alone. And what I kind of like is how he takes that and he throws it right back, unapologetically. And it gives me confidence knowing that I could do that, and
So you would say, like, through that struggle,
yeah,
you react with strength.
Yeah, it's kind of like
your product.
It's kind of like what he says. He says he says rap was like my dad. That's how I see it the same way.
Wow, that's heavy. So that is awesome. So what, if people wanted to hear your music, if they want to follow you, your journey, how could people get in touch with you?
I guess the best way would be follow me on Instagram at wolf_Quan.
All right. And so with this being said, now this commercial album that you just released, and we're hearing a song from today, what's next for you? What is it strategically? What do you think you're going to be, after this is done, or is there more to come? Or are you going to, it's an EP, correct? A full album?
I believe I'm thinking about releasing a double EP called Midnight Boulevard, and I'm with my last album, The Forbidden Forest, which was like all introspective. Like I mean, there's a reason it's called The Forbidden Forest. Like I really go into some territory. But with Midnight Boulevard, I kind of want to create this urban vibe of how do you describe it? Something tribal but urban at the same time. And like I'd say one of my strategies is that I also listen to classical music. And classical, the thing about classical is that it's all based on emotion. So I listen to it and I read the emotions and I think about the emotions that I want to portray to my audience, and I think of, I like this urban vibe and I like this tribal vibe. How do I combine it?
Nice.
So I've been just exploring through many different beats and just thinking about the kind of sound that I want.
I think that's awesome, and I think that's an ongoing process as well. You think?
Yeah, I mean, it never ends.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to capture that with just one shot at it. That's for sure. So, with that being said, now, how are you getting your beats and everything and your production?
I happen to know some producers, not personally, but I have talked to them, and they've offered me. I mean, you know how it goes. Like we get in touch, and then they say, "Hey, you can use this," and some of them have contracts with them, like you can only use this if you do that.
Nice. Okay, well, is anybody that you want to shout out before you introduce your song?
I would shout out fellow rapper MJ, which I collaborated with back in September or October.
Awesome. Okay, well, Miss Quan, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. We're excited to hear all that you're going to be bringing forth in the months or years to come. And in the meantime, we look forward to hearing your new song. If you want to go ahead and introduce it, and we'll go ahead and play it.
Okay. How do I introduce it? I'm sorry.
Just tell us who you are and what your song is.
I'm Wolf Quan, and the song you're about to listen to is Sad and in Love. Rapper MJ, which I collaborated with back in September or October.
Awesome. Okay, well, Wolf Quan, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. We're excited to hear all that you're going to be bringing forth in the months or years to come. And in the meantime, we look forward to hearing your new song. If you want to go ahead and introduce it, and we'll go ahead and play it.
Okay. How do I introduce it? I'm sorry.
Just tell us who you are and what your song is.
I'm Wolf Quan, and the song you're about to listen to is Sad and in Love.
Pardon my snooping, been looking through your drawers and just found that Cuban orchid you used to war when we were stupid, pouring liquor down that poor man's drawers, enjoying the tipsy rounds, adored it. But that summer when we first conversed is now foreign. Now I dread to wake and nurse you up every morning. Nowadays I struggle to uncrumble ones for mortgage, cause you can barely move to work, the bed became your corset. But even in these morbid days you always stay so gorgeous. Despite your organs forfeit, I'll always remain supportive. Misery and pain, great, but I'll keep visiting the florist, cause if I was in the same state you'd never leave my orbit. I know you love to dance and draw awesome portraits. I know you love to scout out for fireflies and forests. I know you had a smile that betrayed all forces. Those Polaroids we traded can't describe it in a thesaurus. There's no ease when I see you in such torment. So much torture for me, but need the reinforcement that your importance to me is more than supreme proportions. Your flamboyance barely explored it. I love your Corwitz. I care too much to see that leave. It's deeply poignant, like someone's yanking stitches off me. I'm feeling orphaned, don't need fame or riches, just need me amiga's warmth and embracing kisses. Name it corny, but she's euphoric. Things may have changed, things may have wrecked our voyage. Our house feels empty and dark, the spectacles in storage. Sometimes I hear noises, a rush of incredible voices. Remember open mic and not your words ever so joyous. What more can I envy? I look down at the orchid, remembering times I yelled aloud to you or felt like storming. Should've never been bitter. Who deserves your passion or trust? These pictures I'm sorting through render me saddened in love, saddened in love, saddened in love.
Don't you go nowhere. We'll be right back with more music.